Okay. We live right now. We're a little early. About 10 minutes early. We're gonna be getting started here soon. We're gonna get started up on the TikTok as well. Absolutely. So we're gonna get the live right here. Question. All right. So let me ask you all a question. All right, I'll get started. We're going to get started. All right, all right. All right, all right, all right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. We're gonna wait a few more minutes. Anybody that's coming in, what's going on, y'all? My name is Darius. I know y'all been waiting patiently. Those are tapping in right now on the live. I appreciate your patience. You know, I had to go out, come back in, go out, come back in. But it's cool. I'm definitely excited to be working and back here again this week. We're gonna get things posted here in a couple minutes. We're gonna get started at 7:30. Here for a good time, not a long time, you know. So we're gonna tell all your friends on Facebook, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, Facebook. You know, you can hop over to Simple Options Tennessee. This is gonna be live on YouTube. I know we were on Facebook last week, but we want to come to YouTube. You know, it's a little bit easier for us in the process, and we're gonna see which one performs better. You know. Yes, yes. All right, all right. I'm trying to let this thing post, but we're gonna go live on TikTok right now. Appreciate y'all patience. Appreciate y'all patience. Be sure to like, subscribe, you know, stick around. We're going to be having way more conversations like this. It's going to be very, very exciting. So I appreciate the people who are here and tapped in. Don't know if it posted there, but we're going to hop on TikTok. We're going to go live.
Man, let me tell you about this picture right here, man. Look, when I first started doing this, man, I used to just drive to different neighborhoods.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. So now we live on it's exactly 7:30, y'all. It's exactly 7:30. What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? What is good, my good people? For those that don't know, my name is Darius Montgomery. I'm a licensed financial professional, and this is what I do, man. We teach our clients how to protect, grow, and retire. All right, that's it. We keep it simple. All right, we teach you how to protect your cash flow, teach you how to grow some extra capital, and teach you how to retire with some income, with some money coming into you. All right. So for my people over here that's on TikTok, if you double dip, you know, if you're on TikTok, please go over to YouTube, Simple Options Tennessee on YouTube. Y'all be sure to subscribe, smash that button, like, and you'll be able to see a little bit more detail. I'm gonna be possibly showing some examples tonight, just depending on how long it takes and what the conversation is like tonight. But I'm really, really gonna try to show some details and really get into the nitty gritty with y'all today. So if you are on TikTok, y'all be sure to follow us at Simple Options Tennessee on YouTube. All right. So the people that are on YouTube, if you just scrolling and you see something cool, be sure I'm on my personal TikTok page, Darius S. Mont. I'm the only one out there that's Darius S. Mont. Y'all be sure to follow on TikTok if you guys want to keep up with the live streams and be a little bit more on the quick, on the go. So I am excited. I am excited. For those that don't know, this is the second week that this is part of our series, man. A series. How long we're gonna do it, I don't know. I truly enjoy doing it. I love talking and educating about this stuff. We do this all day, every day. I do this all day, every day. So shout out to the Simple Options team, the Simple Options family. Shout out to all my teammates across the United States. We cover all 50 states for the most part. So if you hear something, you see something you like here, you see a strategy that's like, you know what, that can probably benefit for me, be sure to head over to simpleoptionstn.com. I'm specifically located here in Tennessee, the lovely state of Tennessee, the volunteer state. So that's where I'm at right now. But again, if you were in other states, we got clients all the way from California to New Jersey. So we do business everywhere, right? So if you're able to tap in. Again, head over to the YouTube page, Simple Options Tennessee, and you'll be able to probably see a little bit more screen as I get to sharing things and stuff like that later on. But let's do this. So for those that don't know, if this is y'all's first time coming, I got this drawer I keep hitting y'all. My bad. This is live. So, if I knock something over or something falls, y'all don't laugh at me. Hopefully I don't go viral or nothing crazy like that. But we'll see. Hopefully, I ain't messed up. Y'all want me to go viral, we'll go viral. But I'm going to try not to make no mistakes tonight, But for those that didn't catch last week, right? If you guys didn't catch last week, we talked about the foundation of a financial plan. Like, what is that? You are those over on YouTube, you are the person, right? Those on TikTok, you are the foundation to any plan that you build financially, anything that you try to do financially, you are the secret sauce. All right. You know how like Space Jam, they had the Space Jam water, the water that, Michael Jordan drank, it changed everybody's mindset. That's you, right? You are the secret sauce to all that. Okay. So this week, we're just going to stack. We're going to take our time. We're going to keep building this series. We're going to keep building and adding on to that first principle, right? You being the foundation. With us here at Simple Options, we are a little bit different in how we do business with our clients because we design plans. We tailor stuff specifically for the client and specifically for the needs of our clients. Some people are just getting started. Some people have been playing this game a little bit longer. Okay, it doesn't matter. We meet you exactly where you are. So the first part of the process for us is one mindset, getting you in the place to where you know and understand your own individual personal value. If you don't value yourself, guess what? It's not going to make no sense to try to build some money for yourself either. This is just the truth. That's just 100%. It's where it is, right? So as we start talking about, what consists of a financial plan? How can I build something and not risk my money and still growing it? That's what we're going to be getting into tonight. All right. So when you talk about the next step, after you realize that you are the truth and you are the foundation, right? The most important thing is protecting your cash flow. Protecting your cash flow. Again, you are everything. If you stop making money tomorrow, guess what? There's no more income coming in. If you are no longer here tomorrow, guess what? That family has no more income coming in. So if you have a heart attack, stroke, any various things where your money's not coming in and working for you anymore, guess what happens? Stuff stops. So that's where we start with our clients. After you realize that you are the sauce, right? We want to focus on protecting that cash flow, protecting it. So we got some people in the chat, and shout out to all the loves and likes. We got clients in there too. Shout out to some clients. What up, Kristen? I see you going crazy on the live. Again, this is an opportunity. If y'all have questions, please pop them in either chat, whether you're on YouTube or whether you're watching live on TikTok. If you got questions in between, I'm gonna do my best to answer them as I see them. So this is meant to be conversational. I'm here to teach and show these things, but at the end of the day, I'm here for y'all. We're here for the people. We're here to have these conversations because too long financial lingo and conversation has been a myth, right? A lot of these fancy terms and words that exist, and it can be confusing, but if you truly understand it and you got somebody to break it down in a simple format, like the team at Simple Options, you see I did that there, a little shameless plug. It makes it a lot easier for you. All right. So, but let me ask you guys this question, right? What would happen, people on YouTube and on TikTok? I'm asking both of y'all. What would happen to your financial plan if your income stopped? Like just stop tomorrow. Like if it just stopped, like what would happen? All right, let me the people that are in here live, what would happen? Like I'm asking you guys here on TikTok and on Facebook, like what would happen if your income, if your for your financial plan, if your income stopped tomorrow, whatever plan you got now currently, even if you just savings in a savings account, what would happen? Okay, okay. Give a few more people coming in. Like, what would happen? Like, I mean, y'all listen, don't be bashful. Okay, I cry and pull from my plans if I can. Okay, I like that. I like that. I like that. So that's good. So that shows that you got some plans there. All right. I like that answer. I like that answer a whole lot because that's majority of times that's what happens, right? Most people have a plan designed around making money. Your plan consists of I'm gonna keep having this income coming in, I'm gonna keep doing this, I'm gonna keep going that. But when you start looking at the number of people who actually have a plan for protecting the money making engine itself, which is you, it's rare. It is very, very rare, very rare. You are that main piece. So tonight we're gonna be talking about protecting that cash flow. All right. Has it, like, what happens before it comes in? Growing your money, the planning on to retire, whatever it is, you have to protect all the money you get because it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep, right? Making money is cool. Making money comes and goes. It ebbs and it flows, right? Comes in, comes out. But when you start looking at how, let's just say, I hate when people say it, but like but this is the true fact. When you start looking at the 1%, right? When you are actually, and for those just hopping in, y'all be sure to hit the like button and subscribe. But when you start looking at people who are well off, the wealthy, the 1%, whatever you want to call them, right? People who are making the money. Just because you're making the money doesn't mean they're actually keeping the money. We have clients all the time that I've literally sat down with and saw that are making, we'll say 6 figures and above, millionaires, whoever, right? But just because you're making that money doesn't mean you're protecting it. Doesn't mean that money, if something were to happen to you tomorrow, the money making engine, you wouldn't know, right? You wouldn't know. So when you start looking at your income being one of the biggest assets, it's not really a big conversation. All right, we talk about houses and retirement accounts, businesses, different investments, but we don't always treat your ability to make money as serious as that, right? Let's be honest, and when you start looking at yourself as an asset, going back to what we were talking about last week 1, you are your biggest asset. Like you are your biggest asset. A house is cool. Don't get me wrong. Houses, real estate. You wanna diversify, right? But it all starts with you. So when you start looking at your financial plan and how important you are to it, this is where it comes in. All right, so and we're going to go into an example too. Again, for all those people that are just now getting into the live, we are live over on YouTube as well. So if I start showing demonstrations, things like that, the screen will be over on YouTube. So y'all be sure to go to YouTube, Simple Options Tennessee. It sounds exactly how it's spelled over on YouTube. But if you are on YouTube, I am live on TikTok, my personal TikTok as well, Darius S. Mont. You can find us there. All right. I want to be sure to tell people where to go as people come in. Y'all be sure to keep blowing this stuff up, man, because the purpose of this is to have these conversations. I'm a regular person. I got a license to do this, but that don't make me better or fancier than nobody else. I'm just regular, a regular dude who understands. Who I didn't come from money. I didn't come from it. So I spent years studying it and trying to understand the language, understand what that's like. And so now this is the chance to come back and have these conversations with real people, right? So when you start looking at yourself as being the biggest asset, let's break down. I actually got an example pulled up here. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna pull up this example real quick. Y'all have to bear with me. We in real time. So, again, real life human plans. All right. So Anybody that has questions, y'all be sure to throw them in the chat. Any comments, y'all be sure to throw them in the chat. I appreciate the likes and the love. So, okay, here it is. Here's the example, right? So let's say we have a 35-year-old business owner, right? He might have over 250, quarter mil invested somewhere, growing business, and they're generating, let's say, 200,000 a year in income. All right. What happens if something interrupts that income? Let's really think about it. Like, what happens if he's got assets? He's got 250,000 in assets, right? Stuff is invested, it's in the market, it's growing, it's working for him, it's doing all the things that people on TikTok and YouTube tell you to go do. Roth IRAs, you know what I'm saying? Go invest into the market, buy Nvidia, 2-Tech-1 index, all of that stuff, right? His market is growing, but he's still generating 200,000. 200,000 still generating. But what happens if something interrupts that? What y'all think's gonna happen to his money? Yo, listen, we interacting. People coming in, like it, interacting. I'm asking real questions on here in real time. So what y'all think happens to him if that income stops coming in? He gets hurt, whatever it is. Okay, pop over here to YouTube. Okay. All right. That portfolio does not replace the lost cash. You're right. Yep. So boom, right there. On back over here on TikTok, Kristen said, "I hope he has some money saved." Okay, all right, and that's good. So he's got 250 in his investment account and a growing business. The business is doing 200,000 a year. So that's pretty good money. That's pretty good, man. Pretty good money. All right. The terrible downside to this though is the fact that his income has been interrupted. He's used to making 200,000 a year. So even if he was to liquidate all of his investments, right? All of that 250,000, guess what he's gonna have to pay as soon as he pulls that out the market if he made some money on it? Yep, your favorite uncle's coming to holler at him. Uncle Sam gonna take a piece of that. So when you start talking about that 250 replacing his income, got a little hiccup, little issues there, right? So another question I got for y'all, right? If your income happened to disappear tomorrow, which parts of your financial life will be affected immediately, like instantly? If you can't go to work no more, what part of your financial life would be the most, right? We said somebody mentioned earlier bills, right? Bills would be for me, that's the first thing, right? Bills is gonna be like, all right, what do we have in reserves? You know what I'm saying? What does reserves really look like when we start talking about not being able to have income anymore? What kind of assets can we leverage? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So this is why personally, I believe that when you start planning for stuff financially, you got to start with supporting your cash flow, because at any moment, at any time, the ability to earn can stop just like that. Just like that. All right. Making money and protecting money are two completely different conversations. If you are a person that has, I'll say we'll start off with a small number, right? Like if you've been blessed, right, to have a lump sum of $10,000 or $20,000 at one time, you understand that, oh man, I got a lump sum of money. But what happens when you looking to make that money last as long as it can? All right, a person can have that lump sum and be successful, continue to get those lump sums and be very successful financially, right? But when you start looking at the loopholes, the holes, that's what we do here at Simple Options. We have conversations with all our clients. Our job is to make sure that there ain't no holes in the boat, making sure that everything's patched up, making sure that you can, because at the same time, let me say this, you can be successful financially, but still be financially exposed, right? Someone can have a high income, all right, own multiple properties, have the retirement account, have sustainable savings, and one unexpected event can force all of those access to those assets, all of it can be gone, right? All of it can be gone in one single incident. All right. And when you start talking about timing, you have to ask yourself this, right? just because you're making money, here's a second question I need you to ask yourself. Are you building wealth, or are you building wealth with a plan to protect it? See, those are, again, we start talking about protection. This first level, level one, is simply about protection. And again, I don't care if you are like the person in the example I gave y'all earlier. If you making 6 figures and up a year, okay, that's cool. You're making that. How much are you protecting? I don't care if you work at the drive-thru at McDonald's. You still have to protect that income. There's things that you can do at no matter what financial level you are, what financial stage you are. That protection conversation needs to be a piece of the conversation. And that's so a good question right here. What if I'm just surviving? Okay, great question. What is surviving to you? Because here and here's the thing: everybody surviving is different. So if you are a person that's just surviving and you're just, trying to make ends meet and trying to do what's best, that's when we come back and we ask questions. Okay, if you are in survival mode, because it's a real thing, you got to survive out here, especially with inflation, all these things happening right now. I mean, gas prices are going up. Money is, the cost of living is increasing, but wages are not, right? So when you start looking at that survival, that mindset, and that person, okay, if you are surviving right now and you are barely making ends meet, let's put something temporary in place that's going to last you through this survival period. Because my hopes for you, especially if you're coming and talking on a live, obviously you're here, you're understanding, you want to ask questions, right? You're learning, you're getting an education. That's the first piece. But my hopes for you, especially as a client, if I'm sitting down across from you, is we're not going to be in that survival mode forever. Thrive, not survive. It's a real thing. You know what I mean? Shout out to the bad sheep for that. Thrive, not survive. But if you're just surviving, then you need a plan that protects what you are surviving with. Whether you have kids, you got loved ones, as a person, right? We all wear many hats. Me, I am before I was starting to order, I was a son first, grandson, great grandson, and then I became a friend, and then as life went and became more, I became more. I became a father, a husband, all these different hats and all these different roles. All the surviving has been different at each level. So when you say you're surviving, let's make sure, because you are surviving, let's make sure that we protect what you're surviving for, what you're working for. Because if you're surviving, then you're working for something. So to answer that question, the first thing for me to tell you to do is let's put protection in place that's going to be temporary to get you through the survival. Then we can start looking at more permanent options. All right. I hope that answered your question well. I hope that answered your question. And if at any point, y'all be sure to head over simpleoptionstn.com. If you popping in, popping out, y'all tap in. We educational material on the website, all this stuff, right? So and that was a great question, by the way, too. Shout out to that question. But when you start looking at what it looks like, are you building wealth? Or are you building a plan to protect that wealth? Because those are two different things. You can build wealth, but you also have to build a plan to protect that wealth. The protection piece, it's not a huge conversation. Making money, again, sexy. Stocks going up, bank overflowing, rehabbing properties, you know what I'm saying? It's sexy. But when you talk about buying and protecting that asset, making sure you keep it forever, it's it's a little mundane, but not anymore. Not anymore, because I'm here. I'm not, I'm the sexy. You see what I'm saying? And it's cool. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I want you to think about this. We're gonna do some mindset shift, because our whole point of us having these conversations is to expand. The more information you know, the more things that you can actually go look for. You can go find these pieces, because that's how it started with me. It all started with a question, and then that question turned into years of searching and researching and finding information. All right. When you start looking and shifting your mind, the goal for you guys over on YouTube as well, the goal isn't to just make money. The goal is to build a structure that can withstand your whole entire life. Because making money is just a piece of it. It is literally just a piece of it. All right. So when you start having money, right? When you start looking at the risk that you may be forced to sell stuff, going back to the example we had earlier. My guy who's 35, business is doing 200,000 a year. He has 250 in assets and stocks and things like that. If a risk is happening and you don't have a plan in place, guess what? You're going to be forced to sell. So those assets, that money that you took to, that time that you took to accumulate these assets, the assets that you accumulated, you're going to have to tap into them. All right. And let's just be honest. Sometimes the problem isn't losing the money. The problem is being forced to make that financial decision before you're ready to. Just because you have 250 in your brokerage account over at Fidelity don't mean you want to pull it out right now. Because that 250 could have been 350. You could have took a loss, but now because you took a loss in the market and you took a loss on your personal life, right? Whether it was you can't go to work anymore, whatever that loss may be on your personal side, you're going to be forced to tap into some money where those positions are going to have to be liquidated. And don't be up. Don't be up. If you have made a profit, again, let's go. That's what it's going to sound like. Uncle Sam, hey, then you make some money. I know you need this, but before you take this money out, I need my piece of it. So when you start talking about having money, again, it's all about timing. The problem is being forced to make that financial decision when you're not ready. So let's look at it like this, right? Imagine that someone has $500,000 in assets, right? But then something they didn't plan on happening happens, right? Something unexpected. Boom, you need $100,000. The issue and the problem that arises is you technically got $500,000 in an asset, but where's that $100,000 gonna come from? What is it gonna cost you to get it? You got it. It's sitting in equity in that property. It's sitting in the market growing. It's sitting private invested because you got a friend that's building a business and you put some money over there with them and you know it's there. But how are you going to be able to access it? All right. They may sell something. They may have to liquidate that account, borrow money, disrupt these things. But what we do and how we design and how we answer these questions is we make sure, especially as clients are growing and climbing up that ladder, that we put something in place to where you can access some cash. As you're making more money, let's take some off the table and make sure you got it protected where you can tap into it if you need to, right? Where you don't have to sell anything, you don't have to liquidate anything. You can literally just borrow against it without having to do a credit check or having to go through a strenuous process to get it. All right. Do you have enough to liquidate and protect the financial emergency without messing up that long-term strategy? How much access do you have? Is that $500,000 sitting somewhere that if you take it out right now is going to affect it? These are real questions. These are real questions and real conversations that, again, we have these all day, every day. This is literally, I do this all day, every day, right? My team, we do this all day, every day. These strategies and these conversations that we're having are real life situations, real life problems that we solve. Again, no matter if you like the person in the comments before, if you're just surviving or if you are on your way to thriving, okay? And it's very, 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 very important and keeps the conversation bigger than just, man, I never thought of it like that. Like, yes, the questions I'm asking, the conversation that we're having, I'm hoping that this is, dropping something inside your head and it's making sense. It's like, okay, I ain't never thought of it like that. Okay, good, cool. That's great. That is amazing. That's the point. But now that you're asking yourself these questions, you need to be like, yo, how can I protect my cash flow? What does that even look like? Okay. Protecting your cash flow is having emergency funds to tap into, is having the ability to borrow from something, having something to the side that's going to pay you if you get hurt, have something to where you can now extend the conversation, extend the time of, you know what, I don't need anything from that $500,000 right now. I'm gonna let that just set in the market because I got this over here that I can just pull from and live from, right? Or nah, I don't have to touch that equity in that real estate. I can just let it keep growing. I don't have to pull my credit because I got some money over here on the side that I can access to that's protected from the market. Strategies. Strategy. You're gonna hear me say it a million times. Because it's not about what you have, it's about the plan you have for what you have. That's the difference. The difference is having a plan for what it is that you have, where you're going, what you're trying to do. That's like me hopping in a car and like, yo, you know what? I'm going to California. And I've never been to California before. I don't have no GPS. I don't have a roadmap. I don't have any of these things. But I made up in my mind I'm going to go to California. How long y'all think it's going to take before I get lost? How long? I mean, how long do you think it's going to take me, a person that's never been to California, that's never been out there, to just hop in my car with no GPS and no GPS or no map? I grew up like like MapQuest. I remember I had to print out the directions. You know what I'm saying, on MapQuest. I remember those. Right when you start looking at these situations and looking at these separate things and these different things, you got to have a plan. You got to have a roadmap. You got to have a roadmap because let's be honest, two people can have the exact same net worth, but two completely different levels of security for that money, right? Net worth can be both over $1 million, but whoever has the best secured plan, whoever's money is structured differently, will make a world of difference. It will make a world of difference because if you have two people with $1 million and they both go through the same situation, if one has easy access to something and the other does not, it's going to be a completely different conversation. And so when you start having these thoughts, right? When you start being a bigger part in your own plan, I'll say that. When you start taking the time to really ask yourself those hard questions, like what does it look like to protect something? What does it look like to have access to something? What does it look like for me to do something and put myself in position now to where I'm safe later? Because let's be honest, who really plans for things to go bad? Some people do. Some people anticipate them, right? That's where we come in. We have conversations and we anticipate for our clients. Okay, what if this happened? What if this happens? Right? We do these things, but how many people are truly looking 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, right? How many people are truly looking and having this conversation? Because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, you are in control of your own life. It's nobody else's responsibility to make sure that your family's protected. It's nobody else's responsibility to make sure your cash flow is protected, your income is protected. Nobody talks about these things. I know when I the last job I had, I don't remember anybody ever sitting down and talking to me about, hey man, what if this happens? What do you got in place? Or if something like this were to take place, you would be SOL. And then guess what happened? I ended up getting hurt. Got hurt on the job. I got a scar. I got a scar on my wrist to prove it. I don't know if y'all can see that there on YouTube too. I got a big scar on my wrist. Got injured on the job. Didn't have anything in place. So when you start talking about real life situations, real life things happens, that's why I'm so passionate about this. Because I didn't have the information. Nobody told me about these things. Nobody told my wife, my family about these things. So when I'm hurt, laid up, and only getting a portion of my paycheck, and I'm making the majority of the money for my household, the conversations, you start looking at stuff a little bit differently. You start having different thoughts inside of your head, like, yo, what? Like what the like what? I almost slipped out. I don't know if anybody kids is watching. I know it's late, so I'm watching myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm grown, so if I bear with me. But like really, like what is this? What is this truly happening? Like what's going on right now? So that's why I'm passionate about this. That's why we take the time to craft these meetings. We're going, and every Tuesday, for those that popped on and hopped out, like every Tuesday 7:30, we're going to be here. We're going to be having these conversations. We're just going to be planting these seeds. We're going to be planting these seeds, and as time goes, I'm over my time right now, so I didn't get to really go into the visual aspect of it as far as like what one of these plans look like, what one of these strategies look like. But if you're tapped in and you're listening, and you want to see an example, these plans, like if you go over to the YouTube page and you click, like we do, like we can do a 10-minute call, literally a 10-minute conversation to see where you are in life. What does it look like for you? Like how does this situation work for me? What does my situation look like if I do this? Well, what about this? All these scenarios and situations it can be answered, and they will be answered. Here's not the time. I just want to really get on here and really just help build that mindset, help build these questions, and really start dropping these seeds, and in hopes that you or whoever's on the other side of the screen will just start thinking a little bit differently, start really realizing what that future looks like, because again, it's nobody's responsibility. I wish I could tell y'all the number of retirees pre-retirees, we'll say it, right? Because people who are 45 and up and are having that conversation and those thoughts about retirement, who nobody told them or had this conversation with them when they were younger. When they first started working their job, they were just told, you go get a good job, get you some benefits, and the company's going to take care of you. Pensions don't exist anymore. They just don't. Now, if you're at a job and you still got a pension, shout out to you. You are rare. You are very rare. Like we maybe have a few clients that still, are grandfathered into their pension and still have some stuff going. But when you start looking at a pension and income coming in from your job after you're there, it's different. When you start talking about financial income protection, when you transition from your job, when you retire, it's not there. So yes, we're going to keep having these lives. We're going to keep having these conversations. Again, head over to simpleoptionstn.com. Sign up. If you got questions, there's a page there that says contact us. Literally go to the box and type in your question and contact us. It's literally that simple. It's not complicated. The whole purpose of this is to not be complicated. Thank you for everybody that has popped in, and the lights went crazy this time. I love it. And for those who, again, have questions, simpleoptionstn.com. Over on YouTube, you'll be able to see the links in the description as it posts up, as it comes up. Schedule a time. I promise you, it's not that hard. But I truly hope that this quick time that I was on here tonight, these questions that I asked, these scenarios that we went through, I really hope it does some good for you. And if not, then keep coming back next week. We'll try again. I promise you. But for everybody that tapped in on the YouTube page, shout out to y'all. We're gonna. I like YouTube better than Facebook, just because it's like easier for me to upload it to YouTube. I mean, just being 100% honest. So head over to YouTube, Simple Options Tennessee, everywhere. My name is Darius, Darius Esmont on social media if y'all want to follow and stick around for more lives and stuff like this. But that's all I got for y'all tonight. I hope this protection conversation has added some value. Again, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it. For all those that are still here, I will see y'all next week. If y'all got any questions, DMs are open, and Simple Options TN page is open as well. So hope y'all enjoyed this, and I'll see y'all next week.